Hi everyone, welcome to Raw Inspired Living. My name is Kelly. I'm so grateful to have you all here. There's something I want to say today that I don't think gets said enough in this space, and I want to say it with a lot of warmth because it comes from a genuine place of care. But I also want to say it honestly because I think you deserve that more than you deserve another video that just tells you what you might already know. Honestly, there is so much content around at the moment for perimenopause and menopause, and to be honest, I still find a lot of it conflicting and still not always that helpful in explaining to me why belly fat isn't shifting, why energy is unpredictable, why the things that used to work have stopped working. I'm just bombarded with information. So here on this channel, I want to give you factual information and practical guidance based on my lived experience, the things that I have researched, the things that I have tested on myself and other women, because I think that's really important, that I'm on this journey with you. I'm not doing it from a place of, I'm just, spouting at you things that I've read. Like, I am living this. I've been living this journey for 10 years, or over 10 years now. And honestly, understanding the physiology was groundbreaking for me. And it is genuinely the first step because you can't really solve a problem that you don't fully understand. But today I want to talk to the woman who already gets it, or who at least gets enough of it. The woman who's watched the videos, read the articles, maybe downloaded a guide or two, and knows somewhere in herself that the answer isn't more information, it's a decision. Because here's the truth that I find myself coming back to again and again, both in my own life and in the work I do with women. You cannot get different results by doing the same things, even in a different order. You actually have to do different things. And more than that, you have to be willing to become someone who does things differently. Not as a temporary experiment, as a genuine shift in how you live. And I know that sounds simple, maybe even obvious, but I want to sit with it for a moment because I think there's a gap between understanding it intellectually and actually letting it land. Most of us, when we decide we want to change something about our health, go looking for the thing to add, the supplement to take, the food to cut out, the workout to start, the program to follow. I know because I've been there. And sometimes those things help. But the women I see genuinely transform in midlife, not just lose a few kilos and gain them back, but actually shift into a different way of living in their body. They all have one thing in common. At some point, they stopped looking for the next thing to try and started asking a different question. Not what should I do, but who do I need to become to have what I actually want? That's a different question. And it requires a different kind of honesty. So let me ask you something directly, and I want you to actually sit with it rather than just rushing past it. When you imagine the version of yourself who feels genuinely well, who has steady energy, feels strong and comfortable in your body, who has stopped fighting with food, stopped waking at 3 a.m. and stopped feeling like your body was working against you, what does that woman's day actually look like? Not her workout routine or a meal plan, the day. Like, how do you start your morning? Like, what does she eat and when? What does she say no to? What rhythms does she really protect? Because here's what I know from working with women in midlife. That version of you is not living an extreme life. She's not doing anything dramatic or punishing or complicated, but she is living differently to how most women in midlife currently live. She's eating with more intention. She's protecting her sleep more fiercely. She's not skipping meals and then wondering why she's raiding the kitchen at 9 p.m. She is not doing punishing workouts that leave her exhausted and inflamed. She is living in a way that is metabolically intelligent for the body she actually has right now, not the body she had at 35. And the question is not whether you know what that looks like. The question is whether you are willing to actually do it consistently, not perfectly. We don't need perfection, but consistency is really important. It's what creates physiological change. It needs to be consistent enough that your body starts to receive different signals, safety signals instead of stress signals. And over time, it responds accordingly. I think about this through the lens of conditions. You are living in a different physiological environment than you were 10 or 15 years ago. Your hormones have shifted. Your body's relationship with cortisol, with blood sugar, with fuel, all of it has changed. And yet most of us are still trying to run our current lives on the strategies we developed in old conditions. We're applying old season thinking to a new season body. And then we are confused and frustrated when it doesn't work. Doing things differently doesn't mean doing things that are hard. It means doing things that are right for the conditions you're actually in. And that's the change that we really need to make. And we really need to accept that our hormonal environment is different in this phase of our life. And therefore, the way we do things needs to be different too. So you're going to eat every 3 to 4 hours instead of pushing through the afternoon on caffeine. You're going to anchor your meals with protein instead of building them around carbohydrates or not even looking at things and just hoping for the best. You're going to choose movement that supports your nervous system instead of exhausting it. You're going to go to bed when your body is telling you instead of staying up because that's the only quiet time you get or you're watching something on Netflix. These are not extreme interventions. They are intelligent responses to a changed environment. But they do require something from you. They require you to take yourself seriously enough to actually do them. Not to intend to do them, not to know you should do them, not to read more about them, but to actually do them. To create change, you must accept that things are different and then do different things, right? And I say this not to challenge you or push you, but because I genuinely believe that the woman watching this, is ready. You feel that quiet recognition right now, that sense of, yes, this is what I need to hear. Those women are capable of extraordinary things when they are given the right information and the right support. I've watched it happen. I watched it happen inside my membership. I've watched it happen for myself. It happens every single week. And the shift is not as hard as you think it is, but it does require a decision, a real one. A decision that says, I am going to meet my body where it actually is. I'm going to stop expecting it to respond to strategies it has outgrown. And I'm going to do this, not for a week, not as a reset, but as my actual life. If that's you, if something in what I've said has landed and you're thinking, yes, I'm ready. I just need to know where to start. Kelly, where do I start? Then I want you to download my free guide, Understanding Your Midlife Metabolism. It's at rawinspiredliving.com/midlife metabolism guide. And the link is below this video. It will give you the physiological foundation you need and a clear, calm starting point for doing something different. And if you go through it and you think, this is awesome and I understand this a little better now and I want to go deeper, I want the full structure, I want to do this properly, then come and look at the Rawly Inspired membership, because that's where we take all of this from knowing to actually living it. You've been understanding this long enough probably, and you've probably been in it for so many years. The next step isn't more information, it's actually a decision. So I hope this video has helped you in some way, and if it has, please share it with other women that you know that might be in the same situation as you. And I look forward to seeing you again in Raw Inspired Living.